The Mitt Romney campaign had to put out this statement today, which is pretty strange considering Romney is the presumptive nominee. Quote, Governor Romney has a lot of respect for Dr. Paul, that's Ron Paul, of course, and the energy his supporters bring to the process. We look forward to working together to help Mitt Romney defeat President Obama this fall. As for individual state conventions, make no mistake that the Tampa convention will nominate Mitt Romney, and it will be his convention. Think about this. Mitt Romney, the presumptive nominee, the guy who racked up all those primary wins, thinks we need to be reminded that he will, in fact, be nominated at his party's convention. And the reason is headlines like these. Ron Paul wins majority of Nevada delegates. With Romney all but the nominee, Ron Paul snags delegate majority at Maine's GOP convention. If this sounds like news, you're not wrong, because Mitt Romney already won, in quotation marks, those contests earlier this year. Back in February, he won the Nevada caucus and the Maine straw poll. In Nevada, Romney got 50% of the vote, while Ron Paul just got 19%. But when Nevada sends 28 delegates to the party convention this summer, at least 22 of them will be Ron Paul supporters. Because this weekend, Ron Paul supporters took over the Nevada county Republican conventions. Now, the Nevada delegates are bound to the results from the February caucus, which means they have to vote for Romney even though they are Paul supporters. But that only holds for the first round of voting. If Mitt Romney doesn't secure the nomination on the first ballot, those delegates are then free to vote for whomever they darn well please. And we already know that at least 22 of them darn well please Ron Paul. In Maine's February straw poll, Romney got 39% to Ron Paul's 35%. But when Maine sends its 24 delegates to the convention, 21 of them will be Ron Paul supporters. Because Maine's February vote was non-binding, those 21 delegates get to vote for Ron Paul in Tampa. In other words, Ron Paul just won Maine. And he won Maine using the delegate strategy our own Anthony Terrell said he'd use on the night of the Maine caucus.
The real race is in delegates, and that's where the Ron Paul camp thinks that they're going to win is with the delegates. So some of the volunteers at a couple of the places I was at today were handing out sheets of paper explaining to supporters how they could become a delegate. So it's not just about the initial vote for the candidate. It's about sticking around and becoming a delegate to go on further and to vote for Ron Paul at the county convention and at the state convention as well.
These victories in Nevada and Maine are not unique. Last month, Ron Paul supporters took over the Louisiana caucuses, netting Paul almost as many delegates as Romney won in the state's primary the month before. In Massachusetts, Ron Paul's delegates were overwhelmingly elected over Mitt Romney's. Ron Paul supporters also got a Ron Paul supporter elected as state party chair in Alaska. Paul's supporters have also secured him at least half the delegates in Iowa and more than half the delegates in Minnesota and Washington state. All told, Ron Paul and his supporters have had victories in Nevada, Maine, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Alaska, Iowa, Minnesota, and Washington. That's 8 states. No, he is not going to secure the Republican nomination, but he and his supporters now have a foot securely in the door of the Republican convention. The question is, will Mitt Romney trip over it?